Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 31st of January 2024. So I was thinking at the start of this year, start of this month, that perhaps 2024 might be the first year since 2020 that I won't be going on any kind of London march, any protest marches either in London or elsewhere. But I could be wrong. This symbol, you might be watching it or seeing it more and more. And if you haven't seen it, you probably will be seeing this more and more. Now, you can't help notice that there's been all of these farmers' protests all over Europe. Started in the Netherlands, of course. They've been going on for well over a year, I think, now. And then they've kind of gone from there to France, to Germany, Italy, and all over Europe. And I've just seen articles and videos very recently that apparently farmers' protests will be starting up in this country as well. This seems to be their logo, and I think you'll be seeing it more and more and more. And if they start going on protests up in London or wherever it might be, actually, I for one will be there supporting them, because I don't know, all of these policies that the farmers are fighting against all over Europe, all of these ridiculous things all of these governments are trying to do, all in the name of an apparent crisis, which more and more and more scientists are now coming out and saying is a load of rubbish anyway. All of this net zero stuff, which is becoming more and more apparent, is just going to be totally ruinous for the entire sort of I say British people, European people, but everybody in the whole world. It is just going to be completely and utterly ruinous for everybody. And people, you know, I think it gets to the stage, are we justified in not obeying certain laws? I say laws, sort of termed loosely. Yes, just because they've been passed by, let's face it, corrupt legal entities, political bodies, whatever you want to call them, bought and paid for by, frankly, people I think are at best entirely corrupt, at worst insane, basically. They sort of manage to get themselves, because they're so vastly rich, into positions where they can control sort of media, that can then control election results or sway election results, and then they manage to get these basically puppets installed into positions of power who then work to certain agendas and get laws passed to enforce or promote and progress those agendas. And I just think, do we necessarily even have to obey such corrupt, sort of evilly conceived laws? Again, I say laws in inverted commas like that. Now, of course, I'm not saying that we should be completely lawless. All of the obvious things that you need to obey, like I think there's only basically four basic principles, common law principles that we need to obey. Do no harm, cause no loss, do not breach the peace, and don't breach your contracts, basically. They're the four which covers everything when you think about it. Cause no harm obviously covers all of your violent stuff. Cause no loss sort of covers all of your sort of theft and robbery and fraud and everything. really, when it comes to laws that have been made, I think, in sort of from a direction where it's not for our good and our benefit, but indeed just to kind of capture us and take away our freedoms, and working to agendas which I think aren't for us whatsoever, and what some people would call an anti-human agenda. Do we, are we actually obliged to obey such laws? That is a question I'm asking you. But if these farmers' protests in this country end up taking place, I will be there alongside probably many viewers and many other people as well. So that is one thing for you to consider, I think. But be aware, it looks like these farmers' protests might be coming to this country, and I think 2024 is going to be a huge year, one of protests, and let's hope it's a year where this entire ridiculous mainstream narrative just starts to crumble and fall away. Let's hope the whole sort of scam that's been going on over the last 4 years is exposed for what it is, and let's hope the other scam to do with climate is also exposed. Let's hope then we get some kind of sanity returning, and net zero is kicked into touch, and people end up realising no farmers, no food. Sort of some people might be watching this who are basically with the other side. I'll put it that way. Do you really think this whole climate thing is real, and are you willing to put your money on it so much that we end up with no farmers and no food? Do you really like sort of not being fed? Do you really like being hungry? That's what it might come to. That is the horse that you are backing, I'm afraid. And I don't think you can put a convincing argument, certainly when you take away all of the censorship and you actually allow all the sides who are out there to put their case forward equally. I don't think you are on such a sort of a dead cert there as far as the whole climate thing is concerned. So, like I say, I will be fully behind any sort of farmers' protests that come, and one of the videos I've seen is just to help them spread the word. As this young lady was saying, although they're fantastic at what they do, producing food for us all, they're not the most tech sort of people in the world, and they need help putting the word out. So just doing my little bit with that as well. So just one thing to finish up with, which is looking back a couple of years to the big protests. I came across this song, which is basically, really reiterating what I've just said here. It's called Hold the Line, and although I was thinking that this might be a bit more of a retrospective thing, back to the anti-lockdown protests, which probably won't be any more of, unless the government go even more insane than they are now, which, is always a possibility or even a certainty, but you know what I mean. But if you want to sort of look back with a little bit of nostalgia at what we achieved with those marches, here's a little song for you, and there's footage from those marches, which I for one am really, really proud to have been a part of. And if there's more marches to go on this year for entirely different thing, in support of the farmers and in opposition to the powers that shouldn't be, with all the rest of their ridiculous and very evil agendas. I will be on those marches with equal pride and helping to hold the line there as well. So with that, I'll let you go and look at this article about farmers' protests coming to this country, and also that song, both in the description box below here. Links to them will be in the description box below here. So I'll let you go and do that, and I'll be back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.